Are those offhand? Are those doctorals? Are they accredited in the U.S.?
Well, accreditation is difficult to say because it depends on which university you're talking about.
Right.
Here in Thailand, you can't be a university without being internationally accredited. So, but when we're talking about accreditation, it really depends on which association or which university you're transferring to.
Right. So, you have a lot of international. It's a big international schools here, where there's a big international.
In Thailand?
No, here at your
here
school.
Rangsit.
You focus on this.
Well, we don't consider ourselves an international school. We are by definition a bilingual school, and what that means is that we want to make sure that the quality of education comes first, and then we want to integrate internationalization into that.
But you have a Chinese school here.
Sure, we have an international college in itself. We have, aside from our international college, which houses 8 fully 100% English curriculums, academic degrees, we have about 9 or 10 more bilingual programs that they do about 25-30% of their curriculum in English. And then we have other joint degrees such as Rangsit Stenden University. It's a joint degree here in collaboration with Holland, or the Netherlands. We have an international Chinese college that houses almost 1,000 international Chinese students that's taught fully in Chinese language.
Is that the school we just saw when we were passing?
Yes, right now it's located in this building, but they're building a new college outside.
Are a lot of the Thai kids getting involved in this Chinese school also?
Yes, well, in Thailand you have a lot of Chinese immigration.
Right.
They say that in Bangkok we have about 70-80% Chinese blood here in Bangkok. So that means a lot of students might be second, third generation Chinese, and they've grown up listening to Chinese in the household, maybe a grandparent, and a lot of them take the opportunity to increase those skills, the language skills, while also learning about Chinese culture so that they can possibly work in some kind of international trade or family business that works in China.
Okay, so you have a lot of partnerships between this school with other countries throughout the world, right? And so we were talking a little bit about the U.S. in terms of partnerships. What's going on over there? Do you feel the same global awareness in the universities over there as compared to maybe here in Thailand or other countries you visit?
Well, overall we work in about right now about 25 countries internationally, about 100 international partnerships. We do work in the States, although, and I feel like because I'm from the States, I can speak quite frankly about it. We haven't had great success working in the States. So we do have several very good relationships there. We have had hundreds of American students come here. However, the general attitude of U.S. institutions is not productive to work with.
And why is that? Why do you think it is?
Well, if I had to narrow it down to one thing, I would say that their general belief is that their standards are so much higher that it's more of a privilege for us to work with them.
So it's more of an elitist attitude.
It's an elitist attitude, but it's also usually a one-way.
Do it our way, it's our rules, or...
Yeah, for example, when we do international agreements, almost always with all of our international agreements, it states that we allow both legal systems to work together. In the States, our lawyers don't allow for that. In the States, it's our way or the highway. But that's more on a policy level. When it comes to actual relationships and working together, I do see select professors and programs that come from a school that might be interested in going abroad, but in general, students and faculty just aren't quite as interested in learning from other countries as they are from, say, Europe or the rest of Asia. When we have meetings, we regularly have executives coming from other universities here for no other reason than just to sit down and say, hey, what can we learn from each other? We don't have to have a specific agenda for academics, but let's brainstorm and think about how we can help each other, what we can learn from each other. And one of the prime examples for us is Finland, because everyone knows, especially the university system in Finland is excellent, and one might say superior to Thailand. Yet they're here knocking on our door, wanting to work with us because they see that we might have some things that they don't have.
Sure.
And of course, there's many things that they have that we don't have,
Right.
and we can learn from each other. So even a country that's doing so well, like Finland, wants to come here and open up its horizons, open up the possibility to learning from each other. And we just don't see that in the U.S.
Do you find that the U.S. is working? Is this kind of an elitist attitude for all countries? Are they specifically working? For example, I know they have relationships with West Eurocentric countries, right? But are they reaching out to countries with super strong economies like China and South Korea and that sort of thing? Do you find that they're more open from that angle, or are they kind of just closing that off?
The U.S.
Yeah.
Well, the U.S. has for quite some time been interested in working with the Chinese. It feels like it's more out of obligation, like just because it's such an up-and-coming economy, they need to. But I think there's a real resistance in opening our cultural doors and really looking at ways that we can learn from each other, not just integrate or send some students over here and there, but really sit down at an executive level and say, listen, how can two schools really integrate with each other? That I don't see too much of, but if we do see it here in Asia, it's South Korea, Japan, China. I mean, those are of course the big ones.
Right, but potential.